Hey now friends, it's Chris Fifo, your Keef Seed Product Representative, and today I've got a tray of our Echinacea Artisan collection in front of me. This is Artisan Red Ombre. We're going to go through all the details to make sure you have the best success germinating and growing these as plugs. Echinacea, 1 seed per cell. If we've got a germ chamber, I like it at about 72 degrees. That would be optimum. The thing about Echinacea, it's a larger seed. And so when we put it in the plug tray, it can tend to sit on top. I like to brush out that media or dibble that media so that the seed sits down inside. So when we put the covering on top of that seed, it's not sticking up above the plug tray. I don't like to see media or vermiculite covering the top of the plug tray. It can help disease really run fast through that tray if we do get a spot. And so recess that tray a little bit, give it that covering so we can still see the top of the tray. By day 9 or 10, our Echinacea are going to be germinating. Now, it's not really critical as far as timing goes. They don't stretch really fast, but when we do bring them out to the plug house, we want to lower our humidity. We want to get them dried out rather quickly. This is going to give us the best stand possible. These do have a germ standard of 85 to 90%, and so if you're not seeing that, your first indication is that maybe your moisture is off. So as far as growing on goes, I prefer pH about 6.2, so we'll want to keep an eye on our pH. Nitrate-based fertilizers are best. I tend to avoid something like 20-10-20. And there's 2 philosophies for growing Echinacea in plugs. First, if we're growing these first year flowering, we want to grow them up to the 2 true leaf stage, and then we want to move them to a short day environment. This involves black clothing them, or if we're growing in the winter time, of course, it's going to be natural photo period. But we want to give them a 10-hour photo period until they reach that 7 true leaf stage. And what that's going to do, they're going to be growing flat. Those leaves are not going to be stretching straight upwards. Under short days, they're going to be growing flat, and they're going to grow very slow too. And so that's where, once they get established, we're going to really start pumping them with fertilizer. After they get going, after week 5 or so, 150, 200 parts per million of a nitrate-based fertilizer is really going to help them bulk up and help them get to that 7 true leaf stage even quicker, because it can take up to 10 to 12 weeks under short days to get that. The second philosophy in growing these is if we're going to be overwintering them. And so if we're growing in the summertime, we're going to transplant into a larger liner. It's not going to be a big deal having that short day treatment on them. And so we're going to grow them under a natural photo period. Once again, I like that heavy feed on them, but they're going to have a tendency to grow straight up. And so that's where we're going to want to use a little bit of PGR. B9 cyclocell combination, 2500 to 3750 on the B9. I like adding a little bit of cyclocell anytime I use B9, so I add a little bit of 500 parts per million to that. And it really helps keep that top growth down. That way I can feed them heavier, because my philosophy of growing is you are what you eat. The more you can fertilize these guys, the stronger, the bulkier they're going to get, the better root system we're going to get, and this plug is going to transplant very well. I would say about 8 weeks, this is going to be ready to go.